Welcome to a profound conversation that can completely alter how you view money, security, economic stability, and your divine purpose in this world, especially during times of severe uncertainty and financial turbulence when the entire world seems gripped by fear, scarcity, and confusion about what tomorrow will bring into our homes and communities. I am Rabbi David, and every single week I speak with men and women across America who feel trapped in a relentless cycle of anxiety, working harder and longer than ever before, yet watching their hard-earned savings erode day by day while inflation rises, markets fluctuate unpredictably, and the nightly news screams about impending recessions, banking failures, and economic collapse. But today, I want to share with you a profound truth rooted in ancient wisdom that has survived thousands of years of historical upheaval, wars, depressions, and societal shifts, a timeless Jewish money principle that teaches us how to build enduring, unshakable wealth even when the wider economy is failing around us. When the world tells you to panic, to hoard your resources, and to pull back out of sheer terror, ancient wisdom teaches us to lean into a completely different paradigm of abundance and divine stewardship, one that defies conventional economic logic and unlocks blessings that no stock market crash, political election, or banking crisis can ever touch or diminish. And for those who are truly serious about accelerating their journey, for a limited time, I am opening the doors to the Torah Millionaire Business School for just $299. This is where I unveil the complete Torah wealth system, the full architecture of ancient wisdom applied to modern financial transformation. You can find the link in the comments below this video, in the description, and if you are watching on my YouTube channel, you will also see a QR code on the banner of my channel page. Just open your phone camera, point it at the QR code, and it will take you directly to the school. The doors are closing soon, so do not wait. To truly understand this principle, we must first look deeply at how we view our resources, how we perceive wealth, and why so many sincere people remain trapped in a lifelong struggle despite possessing enormous talent, strong work ethics, and the best of intentions. Most people operate under a rigid scarcity mindset, believing that money is a strictly finite pie, that someone else gaining financial success is automatically their loss, and that economic downturns mean their personal financial destiny is entirely at the mercy of outside forces beyond their control. The Torah, however, presents a revolutionary and liberating framework that views wealth not as a zero-sum game or a random measure of luck, but as a divine instrument entrusted to us for a sacred purpose, a tool designed to elevate our lives, support our families with dignity, and generate massive positive impact in the communities around us. When you realize that the Creator is an infinite source of provision, your entire psychological framework shifts instantly from desperation and survival mode to inspired, confident stewardship. Consider the foundational teaching of our sages in the Ethics of the Fathers, which asks a deceptively simple question that pierces right to the heart of human psychology and modern financial anxiety. Who is truly rich? The answer given is not the person with the largest bank account, the most expansive real estate holdings, or the highest credit score, but rather the person who rejoices in their portion, who understands how to channel whatever they currently have into divine productivity and enduring value. This does not mean complacency, laziness, or the passive acceptance of poverty. Rather, it means recognizing that true wealth begins in the mindset and expands outward through purposeful, ethical action guided by timeless spiritual laws that govern the universe just as surely as gravity governs the physical world. When your internal state is anchored in gratitude and purposeful creation, external chaos loses its power to paralyze your actions and cloud your judgment. When economic conditions deteriorate, panic sets in across society because people have tied their sense of security entirely to external systems, to corporate jobs, government policies, or volatile financial markets that can vanish overnight without warning. But when you anchor your financial life in eternal principles, your security rests on an unshakable foundation that remains stable no matter how violently the economic winds blow across the global landscape. Let us examine how our ancestors navigated severe famines, economic collapse, and extreme displacement throughout history without ever losing their capacity to rebuild, thrive, and generate extraordinary prosperity. Take the patriarch Isaac, who planted crops in a land gripped by severe famine when everyone else was fleeing in terror or hoarding their remaining grain in fear of starvation and ruin. Conventional wisdom dictated that planting seeds in parched, barren soil during a brutal drought was utter foolishness, a guaranteed way to waste precious resources that could have been used to survive another week. Yet Isaac trusted in a higher law of harvest and sowing, and the text tells us that he reaped 100-fold in that exact same year, because the blessing of heaven is never bound by the limitations of earthly economic conditions. That is the core of the Jewish money principle we are exploring today, the absolute conviction that your financial output is not dictated by current market conditions, inflation rates, or employment statistics, but by your alignment with the divine flow of creation, integrity, and proactive stewardship. When you align yourself with eternal laws, you step out of the arena of scarcity and into the realm of limitless divine potential. Many people ask me how this ancient concept translates into the practical reality of paying bills, managing debt, and building a secure retirement in modern America, where the cost of living continues to climb and financial pressures weigh heavily on everyday families navigating uncertain times. The answer requires disciplined execution and a complete transformation of your daily habits and financial philosophy. The answer lies in mastering 3 essential pillars of wealth creation that are embedded deep within our tradition: intentional creation, disciplined preservation, and sacred circulation. Let us break down each of these pillars in detail so you can apply them immediately in your own life, starting today, to create lasting generational blessings. The first pillar is intentional creation, which means shifting from a mentality of mere survival and reactive labor to proactive enterprise and value generation. Too many people trade their precious time for a fixed paycheck, trapping themselves in an economic ceiling where their income is strictly limited by the number of hours they can physically work during the week. Wisdom teaches us that we were endowed with creative capabilities designed to partner with the Creator in bringing new value into existence. Whether through building a business, solving a pressing problem for others, or developing assets that generate income independent of our physical presence. Creation is our birthright and our divine mandate in this physical world. When you focus on creating massive value for your fellow human beings, money naturally follows as a byproduct of that service, acting as a reliable scorecard that reflects the depth and breadth of the problems you have successfully solved in the marketplace. Service always precedes financial reward in the hierarchy of enduring wealth creation. To truly master intentional creation, you must examine your daily habits, your professional focus, and your willingness to step out of your comfort zone. Most individuals spend their entire lives working inside someone else's dream, building someone else's enterprise, while neglecting the unique gifts and talents that the Creator has placed specifically within their hands for such a time as this. When you align your daily labors with your higher calling, work ceases to be a burden and becomes a form of worship, an active expression of gratitude and partnership with the divine source of all blessings. You begin to see every challenge as an opportunity to innovate, serve, and expand your capacity for leadership. The second pillar is disciplined preservation, which guards the wealth you create against the silent thieves of inflation, impulsive spending, and poor financial management. Our tradition places immense emphasis on thoughtful budgeting, living within your means while actively expanding your capacity and avoiding the trap of lifestyle inflation where every pay raise is immediately swallowed by luxury and unnecessary consumption. Preserving wealth also means diversification of thought and asset, ensuring that your financial house is sturdy and resilient, capable of weathering storms without requiring you to liquidate valuable assets at distressed prices when markets drop. Prudence and foresight are the shields that protect your harvest from unexpected droughts. Consider the wisdom of Joseph in ancient Egypt, who interpreted Pharaoh's dreams and implemented a rigorous policy of storing grain during the 7 years of plenty to prepare for the 7 years of severe famine that followed. That is the essence of disciplined preservation, recognizing that seasons change, cycles shift, and prudent preparation is the ultimate antidote to financial panic. When you practice disciplined preservation, you stop living paycheck to paycheck and begin building a reservoir of capital that gives you peace of mind, emotional stability, and the freedom to make choices based on opportunity rather than desperation. Capital is freedom preserved for future deployment. The third and most transformative pillar is sacred circulation, the principle of giving and investing with purpose, which unlocks the extraordinary promise of abundance found throughout our sacred texts. Unlike conventional financial advice that views money solely as something to hoard and protect out of fear, the Torah reveals that money is like water. It must flow to remain vibrant, pure, and life-giving. When you circulate your resources through strategic investments, ethical business ventures, and generous philanthropy, you signal to the universe that you are a trusted vessel capable of handling greater abundance without corruption or greed. Flow is the lifeblood of sustainable prosperity. Our sages tell us that we should test divine providence through the commandment of tithing, making us the only area in spiritual life where we are explicitly invited to test the Creator and witness the windows of heaven opening to pour out blessings beyond our capacity to contain. Generosity opens channels that calculation can never reach. Generosity is not merely an act of kindness, it is an active spiritual technology that recalibrates your relationship with material possessions, breaking the subtle chains of materialism and anchoring your identity in spiritual abundance rather than temporary bank balances. When you give with an open heart, you prove that money serves you rather than you serving money. Now, let us examine how this applies directly to navigating economic downturns and recessionary fears that cause so many people to freeze in terror and miss generational opportunities. History repeatedly demonstrates that the greatest transfers of wealth occur precisely during times of economic distress and market correction, When fearful sellers panic and prepared, visionary investors step forward with confidence and clarity. When the general public is gripped by fear, pulling their money out of productive assets and burying it in fear, the person grounded in eternal principles looks through the lens of opportunity, asking where value is being unfairly discounted and how they can position themselves to serve others during the recovery and beyond. This requires immense emotional discipline, mental fortitude, and a deep-seated trust that is cultivated through daily study, prayer, and alignment with higher truths. You cannot afford to let the collective anxiety of the media and the fearful chatter of coworkers dictate your financial reality or steal your vision for the future. Instead, you must cultivate a sanctuary of peace within your own mind, reviewing your financial goals, strengthening your skill set, and preparing your resources so you are ready to act when the right doors open. Preparation meets opportunity in the quiet hours of focused discipline. Let us talk about debt, a subject that burdens millions of American families and paralyzes their ability to build wealth or sleep peacefully at night. The tradition does not view all debt as inherently evil, but it warns us urgently against the bondage of consumer debt, which treats future earnings as current cash and enslaves the borrower to the lender. Interest payments are a silent drain on your wealth, eating away at your hard-earned income month after month, year after year, preventing you from accumulating the capital needed to seize opportunities when they arise. Servicing consumer debt is running on a treadmill that goes nowhere. If you are currently carrying heavy consumer debt, your primary financial mission must be systematic liberation. Cutting expenses ruthlessly, generating additional streams of income, and paying down those high-interest balances with relentless focus until the chains are broken once and for all. Once you are free from the crushing weight of bad debt, you can begin to leverage strategic, productive debt or accumulated capital to acquire assets that generate cash flow and appreciate in value over time, turning money into an army of hard-working soldiers working for you around the clock. Think about your money as an employee force. Every dollar you save and invest wisely is like hiring a dedicated worker who never sleeps, never complains, and continually produces returns that compound year after year, building an enduring fortress of financial independence for your family. Albert Einstein reportedly called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world, noting that those who understand it earn it, while those who do not pay it. Our sages understood this principle millennia ago, teaching that wealth increases when it is managed with diligence, divided wisely among different ventures, and kept active rather than stagnant. Another critical element of building lasting wealth is the company you keep and the mentors you choose to guide your journey through life. Proverbs tells us that he who walks with wise men will be wise, while the companion of fools will suffer harm. If you surround yourself with people who constantly complain about the economy, gossip about financial struggles, and view success with suspicion, their limiting beliefs will inevitably infect your thinking and hold you back from your true potential. Environment dictates altitude in both spiritual and financial matters. You must actively seek out mentors, teachers, and peers who embody excellence, integrity, and financial mastery, individuals who have navigated turbulent waters and emerged victorious, ready to share their wisdom and help you accelerate your own growth. This is precisely why spaces of high-level learning and community are so vital to your transformation, because iron sharpens iron, and when you immerse yourself in an environment dedicated to mastery, your own standards rise to meet the challenge. When we examine the flow of history, we see that civilizations rise and fall based on their adherence to foundational moral and economic truths. Those societies that abandon integrity, diligence, and stewardship invariably crumble from within, consumed by their own decadence and financial recklessness. Conversely, those individuals and communities that anchor their daily lives in eternal wisdom discover an inner resilience that allows them to flourish even amidst widespread societal decay and economic uncertainty. Consider the wisdom passed down through generations regarding the power of speech and intention. Our tradition teaches us that life and death are in the power of the tongue, and this applies directly to how we speak about our finances, our capabilities, and our future. If you constantly declare that you are trapped, that money is impossible to acquire, and that the system is rigged against you, you erect invisible prison walls around your own potential. But when you begin to speak words of faith, possibility, and disciplined action, you activate spiritual forces that help reshape your reality. True leadership in financial matters begins with taking absolute responsibility for your current circumstances, refusing to play the victim of economic cycles or political shifts. While external factors certainly influence the marketplace, your personal response, your adaptability, and your commitment to continuous learning determine whether you become a casualty of turbulence or a beneficiary of change. Every setback is merely a masterclass in disguise, teaching you valuable lessons that prepare you for the greater responsibilities awaiting you on the next level of your journey. Let us also reflect on the sacred duty of passing wisdom to the next generation, ensuring that our children inherit not just material assets, but a profound understanding of how wealth is created, preserved, and utilized for higher purposes. When children witness parents who practice honest enterprise, disciplined budgeting, and joyful generosity, they absorb those lessons into their subconscious minds, setting the stage for generational prosperity that endures long after we are gone. In our modern culture, people are constantly searching for shortcuts, get-rich-quick schemes, and effortless hacks that promise massive financial returns with zero effort or character development. Yet ancient wisdom reminds us that wealth hastily gathered will dwindle, whereas wealth gathered piece by piece through diligence and integrity increases steadily over time. There are no true shortcuts to sustainable mastery, and every durable financial structure requires a solid foundation of moral integrity, relentless practice, and deep spiritual alignment. Furthermore, we must recognize that financial abundance is not designed merely to sit in a vault or accumulate numbers on a screen. It is intended to be a dynamic force for good in the world. When you master the art of wealth creation and preservation, you unlock the capacity to fund noble causes, support charitable institutions, and lift up those who are less fortunate. True charity is not just an afterthought or a year-end tax deduction. It is an essential pillar that anchors your prosperity in divine favor and community stewardship. As you walk forward from this moment, I encourage you to establish daily rituals of reflection, planning, and gratitude that keep your mind aligned with abundance rather than lack. Review your income streams, optimize your expenses, educate yourself continuously, and surround yourself with kindred spirits who inspire you to reach higher. The path of financial mastery is open to anyone willing to apply these timeless laws with patience, courage, and unwavering dedication. And remember, if you are ready to take this transformation to the highest possible level, the Torah Millionaire Business School is waiting for you. For a limited time, you can access the complete Torah wealth system for just $299. This is the exact blueprint I have used to help thousands of people achieve massive financial and spiritual success. The doors are closing soon. Click the link in the comments, find it in the description, or scan the QR code on my channel banner right now. As we bring our time together to a close today, I want you to take a deep breath and reflect on the immense potential that lies dormant within you, waiting to be unleashed through the power of timeless wisdom and unwavering faith. Economic conditions will always fluctuate, governments will change, markets will rise and fall, but the eternal laws of prosperity, diligence, integrity, and divine partnership remain forever constant and completely reliable. You have within your grasp the ability to rewrite your family financial story, to step out of the shadows of scarcity and anxiety, and to walk into a future defined by abundance, generosity, and profound peace. Commit today to shifting your mindset, mastering the pillars of wealth, eliminating destructive financial habits, and anchoring your life in principles that outlast every crisis the world can produce. Shalom.